You and I will share. How's that?
Okay, that's
or
fine.
I guess we'll do it that way. As we go with you guys, we'll run that microphone.
Sounds good.
We're
Hang
going
on,
to be
TC,
live
hang
here.
on, buddy.
Check, check.
Hang on.
Or not doing the mask?
I'm doing a mask. Neil, what do you think?
Hang on, buddy.
I know masks suck, but it might be good.
Yeah.
Only because
Okay.
only because of the spike,
Yep.
and we want to lead by example.
You mind grabbing my glasses too? I'll just take those glasses.
I know,
You
it's
want
such a
your
pain.
phone?
Right
Go ahead.
there.
And I've learned to hide those.
Let me through your screen.
What time do you guys close?
You know, Terry, if you don't answer, that means you're close.
Can you pick up that one, the middle one, and yell at it for me?
Test, test.
Yeah, lovely.
All right. Chris Inagawa is a stud.
Okay, we're here today with the Off the Beta Show coming up. If you guys are watching right now, this is we'll be right there. We have we have no technical difficulties.
Never.
We got our shit together.
Are you live?
Yeah. Boom. There we go.
Welcome, Santa Cruz Waves. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to the Neil 396
Something like that.
Off the Lip radio show. We
Something
are
like that.
live on Santa Cruz Waves, so everybody tune in. Thank you so much. We love to know where you're listening from. So maybe give us a shout of your hometown, and we will appreciate that. Tonight we have the new El Jefe, Capitan of the Santa Cruz Highway Patrol. Is that what your territory is called? Santa Cruz area, California Highway Patrol. They protect and serve our community, and we're very proud to have the new top dog, Neil.
Chief.
Yeah, no, it's actually Captain.
Oh, you're the
Do people
chief.
call you Chief? Yeah, pick that up.
No, it's not chief. It's captain.
It's captain.
And I'm a commander of Santa Cruz area CHP.
So commander sounds really important.
That sounds big.
Yeah, that's a big word.
It sounds like aircraft carrier.
Commander of the.
Right. That sounds
Is
big.
there? And who's above you?
We have an assistant chief and a chief, division chief.
And then,
Out of coastal division.
Okay.
and is there who's above them?
Then we have our commissioners in Sacramento.
Wow, so he's getting closer to the pay raise.
He's stepping up.
Yeah, every one of those is like a big old bump up in the pay.
And also joining is my friend Sergeant Chris Inagawa, who I've been friends with for a few years.
Golfing?
We've had no, actually surfing. We've had our battles though.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, we've had our battles. It's kind of, and he actually is up. He's like 2 or 3 up on me right now.
So what's the battle? I'm curious.
He just screws with me. Screws with my car. If I'm surfing, he'll just put just.
Has he ever written you a fake ticket?
Yeah. Twice.
Dropping in on me ticket? All right, okay, good. Well, welcome to the show as well.
Yeah.
And then we also have Julieta, which is, is that your stage name?
It's Julieta.
Oh, okay,
I am
Julieta.
Hispanic Mexican, so
Okay.
yeah.
Julieta Tremado.
And
Yes.
you are the PR spokesman for our territory.
PIO.
PIO.
Public Information Officer.
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
Public Information Officer.
Yes.
So when the shit hits the fan, you go out and talk to the news.
I'm the face of CHP Santa Cruz.
And you know all those people by name? The news or people?
Some of them, some of them are furloughed right now, unfortunately, because of COVID. So yes.
When was the last time you were on the news?
Live interview?
Sure.
Let's say a couple months ago, honestly. We've been doing a lot of phone interviews right now.
Right.
Trying to stay
Right.
the distancing and face covering.
Right.
Well, the less you're on TV, the better, I guess, right? I mean, it means
It
that stuff's not bad. It's happening, or things are no chaos.
It depends. Like I said, they're still calling. We're still taking those interviews. They're just not on TV. We're doing phone interviews. So.
Gotcha, and that's good because we believe in transparency, and so the more information that you can get out to the public, the better. I must say, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much you can talk to the police department now, whether it be Chief Andy Mills or the sheriff or Capitola PD. There's so much you can talk about the police department. And today I'm thinking, the questions that I could put down and write and ask, right?
Right.
But a lot of times you are not allowed to ask them, or they're not allowed to say what they are. So it's difficult to,
Well,
it's difficult
yeah.
to find. We have to figure out what we can talk about, what we can't talk about. But it must be, the morale, I mean, it must be difficult. I would say must be, but today as a police officer must be different than any other time, I would think, due to what's happening in the news. And obviously the news is always never any good, but how do you guys able to keep the morale up, especially with for you, that you have a whole team of, how many officers are below you?
So total, we have 63
Right, so
uniformed personnel.
is it difficult to keep the morale up after?
You know, I think everyone wants to be at the office. They all want to be a CHP officer, and they are for the mission of the Highway Patrol and getting out there every day to provide that high level of safety, service, and security. You know, these things happen, and the Highway Patrol, we always step up to the plate, and we're always there, and we want to make sure that everyone is safe wherever they're going. Yeah, we want to make sure that everyone can move around the state safely, and in Santa Cruz, we want to make sure everyone can get to where they need to go and everyone's safe. So for us, it's every day for us.
And I'll add to that. So I've been with the Highway Patrol for 3 years, so I'm fairly new. And when you apply to the CHP, it's one of the hardest academies to go through.
Right.
You don't just apply and you make it. It takes about 2 years to go through background process, hiring, testing,
Right.
for you to get an invitation to the academy. Once you get the invitation, it's 7 months for you of training, live-in paramilitary academy. So when you apply, you already know what you're getting yourself into. This is not just for the salary. It's something that comes from your heart if you really want to do it. So we already know we could lose our lives doing this job. So.
Right.
And a really high, isn't it one of the highest dropout rates? Is that academy, if I'm not mistaken?
Like I said, only 2% of the
Right.
people who apply make it. So,
Wow.
and that's one thing that motivated me, and it motivates a lot of Highway Patrol officers. It's we want that 2%, you know, versus other people they get discouraged. So.
Wow. I think of the Highway Patrol myself as kind of like the Lone Rangers. I've been helping. I drove crappy cars growing up, and I don't know how many times I was broken down on the side of highways, and I got the most courteous support and help from Highway Patrol. And I feel like that is a real plus for you guys, because in a way that's a big part of your job besides safety and enforcing stuff.
So that when the officer got killed in Boulder Creek, that nothing changes for you guys. That's part of what goes on for you every single day. Is it something that changes after something like that happens?
It definitely changes. We're still human beings. We
Right.
still have emotions, and we work with these people, you know, so they're part of our family. So it definitely took a toll on us, but we're not going to stop doing our job. We already knew this is something that can happen to us. So.
Yeah. And you don't realize that there's you guys are such a family amongst yourselves. When you see someone like that, and you see everyone together at the funeral, or when they were at the sheriff's department over there, how you guys are all such a family, because you spend more time together than you do with your own families, I'm sure.
They always say your work is your second home.
Right?
Well, 66 officers is a family. That's small compared to some police forces that have, hundreds and thousands of officers. So I imagine if somebody gets hurt on your job, you really feel that. Let's Captain, I'm curious about your background.
Yeah.
Because you're new to the area. I'm sure people watching want to know your background and your history and why you decided to come here.
New to the area, definitely. How far you want me to go back?
He served.
Well, you told me earlier that you were from Hawaii.
Yep.
We can start there.
Born and raised in Hawaii. When you're from Hawaii, many people ask you, they're just going to ask, what island are you from? And then from there, where are you from? And so, born on Oahu. I lived on Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. So if we go to Oahu, I lived in Waikiki and Manoa Valley. So that's where I lived. And then when I went to Maui, I was up country. Makawao, went to Makawao Elementary School. Yeah, it was kind of kind of like Santa Cruz. There's ocean, which is Makai, and then you got Mauka, the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Same thing in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So we have the same things.
Yeah.
And then on the Big Island, I lived on the Kona coast, and I went to high school at Kona Waina. And so I moved between all three islands and spent a lot of time in the ocean, and I'll just throw it out there. If it's, when you live by the ocean, if the ocean's flat, you go fishing and diving, right?
Yeah.
And then if there's a swell, then you try to get out there, whether you're at the beach body surfing, bodyboarding, or trying to surf, whatever it might be.
Now, living in Hawaii, it seems hard to fathom that I want to go join the highway patrol, right?
Yeah.
Were you a police officer, or
No.
I mean, I know there's even a highway patrol in Hawaii. Is there?
No highway patrol,
Right.
but here's the story. So as I was graduating from high school, I was looking at different things, and my dad kind of came up to me and he said, "Hey, what are you gonna do?" I go, "Well, you know, there's Dad, there's the military, and there is community college." And so we were talking about it, and he said, "Hey, do me a favor. I'd like you to go to the mainland for 1 year. Go to."
How old were you then?
I was graduating from high school, so I was 17,
Okay.
yeah, and then turning 18. So I like to tell everybody, my dad kicked me out of Hawaii. He kicked me out off the islands and said, "You can't stay here right now. You need to go experience something different." And he said he did the same.
Yeah.
And so I moved up to the Bay Area, and my aunt was kind enough and crazy enough to allow me to stay with her.
Yeah.
And, and from there, I went to community college and spent some time, and I was working at a sports medicine clinic, and two CHP officers came in. One of them was injured, and one belonged to the athletic club. And they came in and started telling me the war stories. So there I was, impressionable, and next thing you know, about what they did, what the job was, and all the different things. And the next thing, one of the CHP officers comes in with a recruitment pamphlet and says, "Here's an application, take a look." And so I sat on it for months. And then finally I decided, I kind of like that idea. And that's what happened to me. I ended up in the highway patrol, and the rest was history.
Wow. And do you see those guys ever again?
Yes. And I've seen them off and on throughout the years, and they're both retired now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was great.
Wow.
Did you start off in a car, or did you start off in a bike?
Started off, everyone starts off in a car. So
Right.
when I graduated from the academy, I went to Hayward CHP, and I eventually got on a motorcycle, and I was a motorcycle officer, and spent 6 years there. And then after that, I went into a specialized unit.
Right.
So that's Highway 880, right?
Yeah.
Let me can I ask Chris a question? I mean, you spent all your years on a motorcycle, right? And you loved it. But there was mornings out there, I saw you out there, you freezing your ass off, right?
Is that the time I stopped you?
Just to use the heater in my car.
Yeah.
That was the time you stopped me. Can you use the heater?
I did stop you.
But you seem to obviously the car is much warmer, and you were driving around there in the winter months, and it was raining, and you're freezing, but you just loved it, huh?
I just love riding a CHP motorcycle.
Right.
I mean,
Harley Davidson?
I've ridden BMWs and Harleys.
Mm-hmm. Which is the better one? I heard the BMW.
I prefer the BMWs just for the stuff that we did, especially on the freeway when we're, doing some of our special event details.
Mhm.
And I just prefer the BMW.
And I know when you left here, I mean, you wanted to progress. You became a sergeant, so they had to move you, right?
Yes.
So you went to Oakland.
Yes.
You went to Oakland. That's the last I'm going to see of him. Right? There's no way we're going to see him back.
The whole time you're
And then
trying to figure out?
No, you have to move, right? You have to.
Yes,
once
when
you
I
get
promoted, I promoted into Oakland,
right.
and then I was there for a year and a half.
How is that different to Santa Cruz?
It was
Riding a bike.
There was a lot more traffic,
Yeah.
and it was interesting. It was it's very busy up there, but it's also a lot of fun. And going back on how do you keep morale up? And one of the things is that just working with the guys, working with in the team, you get really close, and I think the friendships and the teamwork build morale.
Yeah.
And working in one of the more challenging places in California, I believe that's how we just we stayed how things stayed good.
Are you speaking of Oakland being challenging or Santa Cruz being more challenging?
Oakland was challenging in
Yeah.
its own ways. Santa Cruz has its own set of challenges, and but this is home, so I absolutely love working here.
Right.
I couldn't imagine working in a better place.
No, for sure, because you were both dealing with Highway 880,
Right.
one of the busiest highways in the country.
The worst highway.
Yeah, I mean,
Horrible.
were you riding a motorcycle at that time too?
Up in Oakland?
Yeah.
Yes, I was one of the motorcycle.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're like a daredevil.
no, I'm not. I ride that thing around like an old lady.
Do you?
Yeah. There's nothing special about it.
If he's behind you, just speed up a little bit, yeah? He's not coming for you.
And how many years have you been on the force?
Coming up on 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're almost ready to check out, huh?
Well, he's got more time on than me, so.
What's the average length about? 30? Is it 30?
Around, probably, mid-20s to 30. Seems to be around, right around there.
And are you gonna keep going, or do you, I mean, I'm gonna say commander, the commander. Are you gonna keep going and end up in Sacramento, or?
No, I'm planning to stay here.
You are to stay here?
Yeah, I'm planning to be a part of the community.
Right.
And, I wanna be here and make sure that we have a good office, and I like everyone here. I like what Santa Cruz stands for.
Yeah.
Just the way it feels here. And it's, like I said, very similar to Hawaii in the vibe, and I still think that's due to the fact that it's kind of like on an island, right? You gotta come in over the mountains.
Yeah.
Or you gotta come up from the south or the north to get into Santa Cruz, and that accessibility kind of makes it feel like you're in a smaller community. It definitely has that feel.
The COVID, obviously, there's some silver lining to it. Obviously, less traffic on the highway. It's been so nice to go back.
It's back though. Is it back?
It's
Our
back.
traffic?
But like, it's going back to when I was here in the 80s. I'm like, God, this is just a 2-lane highway. But how are you guys dealing with, what's your instructions for your team for this weekend, holiday weekend? As far as, obviously people are going to come up from over the hill and fireworks, and it's going to be crazy. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I'll take over it.
Okay.
Sure.
So right now, the California Highway Patrol statewide, not just Santa Cruz, we're having a maximum enforcement period. What that means is we're gonna be in full force. So myself, I have a desk at the office in Santa Cruz, and I'm working the road. I'm taking a beat, which means I'm gonna be out there citing, enforcing, whatever it is. So we're definitely gonna be in full force, and that starts tomorrow at 6, and it ends Sunday at midnight.
And is there a higher, or fines higher this weekend?
No, they stay the same.
They stay the same?
Mhm.
Okay, because I know sometimes that is an incentive to play straight.
No, it's just we're gonna be a lot more than the usual, and probably, or I don't know if Neil was asking, but we're not telling people to not celebrate because we're human, we're gonna celebrate ourselves, we're just telling people to celebrate responsibly. If you're gonna choose to drink, plan ahead, do it responsibly, designate a sober driver, use ride share, or plan on staying the night wherever it is you're drinking, It's super simple to not get a DUI.
Well, it's also one of the more deadliest days on the highway, so reminding people to be sober-minded is important.
Yes, and we're also recommending people to avoid non-essential travel. If you can stay at home with your family members, do so since COVID, it is spiking, But if you are going to travel and go to gatherings, just maintaining your distance, wear face coverings and good hygiene, washing your hands,
Has anybody from the Highway Patrol been infected in your area?
In
No?
our office, no. Throughout the California Highway Patrol, yes.
Right. Wow.
When I went on a ride along with Jake Ainsworth from the sheriff's department with him one night, Friday night, it was crazy. But like there's certain things the sheriff does, and then it turns over to Highway Patrol. There's something the Highway Patrol does, and then it gets turned over to the sheriff. And you guys kind of have a line where you hand stuff off. Can you talk about like for example, I know you might know, but I don't know if you can talk about it or not, the guy that carjacked the car and he's coming through Davenport and ends up on Mission Street doing 100 miles an hour. Like how somebody didn't get killed, I have no idea. Ends up in the ocean. How does it go from CHP to like the city, and how do you guys all sort that out?
Got you. So we share jurisdiction with Santa Cruz SO. So let's say the city of Watsonville, city of Santa Cruz, they have their own police department, so we don't patrol in their city. We cover all unincorporated area. Now the way we split it off with Santa Cruz SO and us is they deal more with the penal code, which is more criminal violations. We deal more with the vehicle code violations. So that's how we split it off.
Okay.
It doesn't mean they're not trained to do the things that we're trained to,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
Let's say they're super busy on a day and someone's carjacking, we're not gonna be like, oh, we don't take care of carjacking, so we're not gonna do it.
Okay.
You know, and vice versa. So
Right.
we definitely work with each other. We're a family. We're CHP, they're SO, Santa Cruz PD, Watsonville, but we're all family, so.
No,
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had highway patrol, 'cause I'm in unincorporated Santa Cruz County, and I've called 911 before at my house and had highway patrol come to my house.
That's what I was just gonna, that in this community, it doesn't matter who you are, we're all gonna come together and back each other up, and we're gonna take care of each other and be there for each other. So, you might see numerous agencies at one location, working on an incident.
When you came into, when you got selected and got the job, do you have your own ideas of how you want to run, or are you taking the orders from up above?
As a commander, you
Yeah.
come in and you have, they have that decentralized leadership, and in that way, everyone wants the office to run perfect.
Right.
And, you want to show up to a perfect running office. Santa Cruz is running really well. So when I came in with no expectations. And I think you can't do that. You can't come in saying, oh, I'm gonna do all these things.
Right.
And just implement change. You
Right.
have to look at things. So, I'm still new to the area. It's been just over 2 months. And really, everything's running really smooth. And if there is something to be changed, you probably won't see it, and it really doesn't affect anyone. It's
Yeah.
internal,
Right.
and with that regard.
Good, CC.
Well, my question is funding right now, because we hear it constantly, defund police, on and on. This is, the media loves talking about that. I feel like CHP kind of flew under the radar and all that, but explain to us how that's the future maybe for because you're the spreadsheet guy. And how's the future look for you?
Not to talk about specifics, but
Yeah.
just to say in general,
Yeah.
there are cuts across statewide. So the Highway Patrol is a state agency, and we're gonna experience those budgetary cuts as well. How that looks like, I can't tell you I can't look into the crystal ball to see how that's gonna affect us in total. They're still working on it. Obviously, there's lots of people looking at it, trying to figure out what the best way is.
Yeah.
No agency wants to get cut. I mean, we are all feeling like we're still behind the curve on our staffing levels and, being able to provide all of that, but we just don't know. And as it works through, we're gonna take it day by day, step by step, and try to figure it out and still do the best that we can to provide that high level of service to everyone.
I've got a question I think TC should ask, but I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
So if you go to your meeting in the morning, when comes your meeting in the morning, 8 o'clock, whatever.
If you're talking about, we have briefing
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay, who gets the 200,000-mile Ford, SUV, right? Who gets the keys to the 200,000-mile Ford, Explorer?
The
And
POS.
who gets the keys to the badass Dodge Charger? Guys, I want to know, did that guy win the lottery that week, or was like, because TC wants the
good one, yeah.
TC wants the badass Dodge Charger. He's going to give me the 200,000-mile Ford Explorer. Who gets that badass car?
So it's based off of seniority. So the longer that you have on the job, you have assigned cars.
So if a rookie comes up and gets the keys, the other guy, right, like he can come over and go, beat it.
Ball tires.
Beat it.
Well, let's say my captain and sergeant and Nagawa, it's their car keys and they have their name on it.
Right.
If they're working, we do not touch that car.
Got it.
And then there's what we call pool cars, then that's up for grabs for any rookie person. Yeah, first come, first serve.
So is there practical jokes on cars? Like, does anyone tie a tin can to the bumper or something?
Your jokes was everything.
I can just imagine. The hazing that goes
We're a
on.
family, it's big brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Well, do you guys joke? I mean,
Not all the time, yeah, no, it just happens. I can imagine you guys make some
This
good
is
jokes.
the first show we haven't had a bottle of wine on the table either.
We're playing good. Well, El Jefe's here. So how involved with this, so the budget, getting back to the budget, it just comes from the top and you deal with it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so you just kind of
exactly.
wait till they figure it out?
So,
Yeah, absolutely. We get what we get.
And are you confident that you'll still be able to run at the level you are? You think
We're gonna do our best. We don't know until we see what that looks like, But right now, we're working with what we have, and we're out there taking our calls.
what would be the biggest need that you see that you wish, or let's say if you had the wish that you could add something or change something?
You always want more personnel. You always want more officers out there to provide that service. That truly is. Personnel is very important to us, and having the people. so that we can provide, you know, to the communities that we serve.
I like that. Well, I think the more sometimes and people might say, "Oh, no, no," being able to get on the beat, I feel like you get to know the community, and it takes bodies to know the community, and for the community to know you. And we had Andy on the show, and Andy Mills, Chief of Police in Santa Cruz, and he made a point of saying, "I want to be on the sidewalk and be able to, you know, see the people and understand what their needs."
Yeah.
Is that something that's kind of up your alley?
Yeah, absolutely. I was at that incident the other day, standing there looking at the vehicle in the water. We were there assisting and doing our part as needed, you know. And we were there, collaborating with the allied agencies.
Were there people surfing that day? At Stockton, this is Stockton Avenue, wasn't it, right?
Probably.
It was
It's
in
the
San
South
Jose.
Swell.
San Jose.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so I
so-
thought it was over towards Stockton, okay.
No,
So I'm gonna go back to Chris. So Chris, you're an investigator, correct, now?
Yes, I
Right?
am.
And what does that entail? I mean, when I think of CHP, you think of, you know, four wheels and a steering wheel and lights on top. But as an investigator, may I ask just a general what you do and what you investigate? Because you don't think of the CHP needing an investigator.
Right, so, I work for Coastal Division, which is, headquartered out of, San Luis Obispo, but we have a office up here. And I run an investigative, unit of, 4 CHP officers and, all investigators, and then, some allied agency personnel as well. And, to give you an example of what we've been involved in, were you guys aware of the projectile case that was on?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, that was our specialized team that investigated that.
And good work. You caught the guy, right?
Yes.
Amazing, because that
He was throwing some stuff off the bridge, right?
or using a slingshot or something. We don't have to get into details. I know it's probably, but good work. And how many hours did you invest in getting this one guy?
We worked on the case for 11 months.
Wow.
When it really ramped up in October of last year, and our command staff basically said, enough is enough, and we need to solve this. Someone's going to get killed.
Right.
And, so we dropped everything that we were working on, and we focused on one case. And so I was very fortunate to have an incredible team of investigators.
Did you get lucky at all, was it just?
We were very unlucky on so many things.
You were unlucky.
But the investigators that worked on the case, they were tireless. We had a lot of rough days trying to figure this case out.
Right.
And then we had the support of our command staff, the captains and chiefs, that, we cost everything we needed to be successful.
Right.
Has that trial happened?
No, it hasn't happened, so I can't really go
Yeah.
into the specifics, but that was a very,
Right.
very good case for us.
You know, if I could just comment on
Sure.
that just shows you what hard work and perseverance
Right.
it demonstrates. And Chris's team, they're very smart, they're hardworking, and they're, they do a really good job. And then I just kind of, when I have time, I want to make a comment about how we met.
No, I think you should comment. I think we're ready for that comment.
Okay, well, so I want to say.
You dropped in and you didn't eat that bastard.
Yeah, it was kind of like that almost. I think it was my first day.
Surfing or first day on the job?
First day in Santa Cruz.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't my first day, but it was soon thereafter. And all of a sudden, he and his team kind of come in, and I'm looking at these guys, and who are these guys? I don't know them.
Right. Were they
You
dressed as CHP officers, or were they just plain
They
clothes?
were in their plain clothes
Right,
coming
okay.
in and just sort of moving around, talking to everybody, and I'm looking, and then Chris comes walking in and
Yeah.
walks up to the door and introduces himself, very polite,
Right.
but he goes, "I heard you surf." And I go, "Yeah, but not very well." So, under my breath, but we ended up, it wasn't long after that, we're in the water, and that's the same day that we met, the first day when we went out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's great. It was great, and ever since, that's part of what we do.
Yeah.
We get together and we like to debrief in the water at times.
There was a whole group of you guys that
There
morning.
is a whole group of us,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's really nice, creates camaraderie.
Yeah.
And good team spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what we have, that's consistent across the Santa Cruz area.
I want to go back to when you were recruited and the fact that you now need more personnel. so a young man, a young woman watching this show,
He's asking me,
a
Captain.
young man, woman watching the show, what would you say as far as why would they want to, what does the Highway Patrol have to offer a young person maybe coming out of college or
So I'm kind of old,
give it to
and
the
I have a lot of time, you know, I've been on for a long time, so
Yeah.
I actually really want Julieta to answer this question and take this question
Sure.
on. I think it fits right in her wheelhouse.
Right.
Right.
I think it really depends by person why they chose the highway patrol. I think, in other words, it's super rewarding. You never see the same thing over and over again. I know if you come and work retail, you already know what to expect, you know? Highway patrol, you never know what you're gonna get, and I
Right.
love that excitement, and it's super rewarding. I love my job. I would never trade it for anything.
because you're 5 foot nothing and weigh like a hundred and nothing. You know, like,
Thank you. I'm a little taller and heavier.
right?
Thank
I mean,
you.
what did you do before?
I like meal now.
How old are you? Can I ask how old you are?
Whoa, hey!
I'm
You're asking all the hard questions.
yeah, I get to the point, bro.
I don't mind. I'm 27.
Yeah, so what did you do before?
So this is my third job in my life. My first job, I worked at Jack in the Box.
Oh, right.
So, yes, and I hated it, but
Yeah.
it taught me lessons. It
Yeah.
really did.
I need to get
said,
out of
my
there.
kids are never gonna work here ever. But now I'm like, my kids need to work there so they can know how hard it is. So.
Right.
And then I did retail. I worked at so I'm from the Central Valley. I'm not from this county or anything. So I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to surf. So
Not
yeah.
yet.
But what drew you to like all
The
of a sudden?
highway patrol.
Yeah. 'cause
It's
you went
something like Terry said.
Yeah.
So my dad went to prison. I have two brothers that are in and out of prison. So growing up, I was always in contact with law enforcement. And not that I was doing anything bad, but they were there for my family and relatives.
Did you like the law enforcement, or did you not respect the law enforcement at that time?
You know what? I never thought I don't like the police officers.
Right.
It was more of how I said if I don't like something, I need to join and make a change. I'm
Right.
not gonna, I don't like them and I'm gonna judge everyone for this
Right.
person's behavior. So as I grew older, I went to college and I was still living with my mom, and I encountered different agencies, and let's say I didn't really like the way certain agencies, their demeanor towards me, you know, and like Terry said, I broke down on the side of the road. I was super poor, lived on Section 8, food stamps and stuff, and I noticed a difference with the highway patrol and different agencies. And I don't want to bash other agencies or anything because I understand the work that they do, and
Yeah.
maybe they were there for a reason for
Right.
my relatives, you know.
Right.
So they had a job to do, and maybe they didn't know me. So, but the way highway patrol treated me, indifferent with respect, that's what got me. And then I started doing more research, and the 2% of being hard to get into it, that convinced me. So I was like, I want to do something that not everyone can do.
Right.
So.
You have to fight to get. You have to learn how to fight,
Sure
right?
did.
She's still here, so watch out there, buddy.
So actually, it's funny that you say that because at the academy, the girls stand out. It's 150 that I went into the academy and only 10 female officers, and so
Right.
we stand out.
Right.
And they're there. Staff officers are there picking at you because they know they're like out on the streets. Your height, your stature, people are gonna want to pick fights with you. So they try to
Right.
build your character. People are gonna be talking in your.
So you're tough.
Can I talk about in the news at boiling point right now is obviously racism, right? And how, it's all of a sudden it's in the forefront, and here it is, it's right in front of our nose. How are you dealing with that, Commander, as far as people's reaction to you guys, and whether you're black, white, or Asian, whatever? How are you guys? Has things changed, or is it?
For us in Santa
Yeah.
Cruz, no, I don't believe so. I think everything is, we're continuing to do our job.
Yeah.
And yeah, the stress, everyone can feel the stress. I think everyone feels the stress right now.
Right.
But we continue to get out there and doing our job. And yeah, I mean, it's out there, but our officers don't let it bother them. And you know, we deal with it.
Right. got another question for him, TC.
I'm ready.
So the chief of police, Andy Mills, he offered us what, that big
He says,
tanker?
he says we can go in the Bearcat and shoot guns.
That's right, the Bearcat shoot guns, the Bearcat shoot guns and drink beer. I just wonder what the CHP
What these guys got?
You know, thank goodness we don't have a Bearcat and we don't have those big guns, so we can't offer that.
Yeah.
I think I have one.
Oh, here you go.
We can offer you, getting arrested in the backseat of a patrol.
He's already, is that what he did to him? Drops in on you?
He just wanted to use my heater.
I was just gonna say, we're happy to meet you in the water, we're happy to hang out. Chris will drop in on you any day out of the week. And if it's not Chris, it'll be one of his other guys. I won't say his name, but he knows who we're talking about. And if he's listening, he knows for sure.
So this weekend, how many guys have been on the road?
All of them.
60 something? Over 60?
Well, maximum enforcement, so
It's maximum
we
for-
have all of our shifts,
Right.
we're covering with full shifts.
And you guys go from the Monterey County line to the
San Mateo.
San Mateo County
Yeah,
line, right?
all of Santa Cruz County.
All the way up to 17, the top
yeah.
of 17?
When I did that ride along, that's what shocked me the most. When Jake, you know Jake Ainsworth, right? Jake, I've known him since he was a young kid. Because I want to do the whole thing. I want to do the meeting. I want to do the whole shift. So I go to the meeting at Chanticleer, knowing like what the counties, the size of the counties from San Mateo up to Boulder Creek or even further and down to, obviously down over to Moss Landing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like 10 guys. Like, wait a minute, where's the rest of the where's the rest of you guys? Because it just seemed that and the phone, you get in the car and the things on the computers ringing and it
Well,
just,
that's
it
your
just
number one
doesn't seem
need,
there's
right?
just there's just not enough people to handle all the issues.
I've often thought, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but at this particular stop sign, often there's a highway patrol that sits over here.
It's him.
And
It's him.
can just write tickets all day long. I mean,
No.
you can just and it seems to me like, does that help fund the local CHP? Not at all. That has nothing to do with going back because this stop sign, you guys could it'd be like a slot machine. You just
I gotta say one thing. Pleasure Point used to be the safest place in Santa Cruz County.
I didn't know where this was going.
Because Sergeant Chris Inagawa would sit at the end of 38 or 36, sit there and check the surf.
What happened?
He never leave.
You got no. Well, seriously though.
He'd go to the donut shop. Then you go to Paula's.
You're busting it
Some of that is true.
But you could probably let me know more about this because you could sit there all day because you have the experience.
Yeah, but that's just.
Yes, you could. But I want to go back to the surf checks.
Let's do that.
I mean, going back to, I believe you touched on it about, morale and things like that.
Yeah.
But, and then why people want to become police officers. And I can tell you, just from working patrol out here for years on a motorcycle, one of the highlights of my day was to run into my friends.
Yeah.
Like, I love running into Neil. I love running into people that I surf with on a regular basis, and it was so funny because they knew me in the water, but they never knew me on a police motorcycle with a helmet on. So I'd see them, and then they'd kind of freak out a little bit because I'm trying to make contact with them, and then when it dawns on them that that's Chris. That's
You come down to Capitola, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, all Pleasant Point, down to Capitola, and that was one of my favorite things about when I worked patrol was just seeing my friends.
That's similar to Joe Clark, who is our
Exactly.
surfing sheriff.
Yes.
Joe had such an amazing rapport with the community here because of the surf interaction.
Right. It's like when we got a call at the Hook parking lot. We knew what it was going to be.
Right.
If we got a call of the screaming lady in the Hook parking lot, we knew who it was going to be. And then we were also friends with that person, so we were able to mitigate the problem.
Mhm.
So, and that was all just part of living here, working here, surfing here, and it's I love it.
Have you done the surfing Olympics?
Yes, I have.
And how did you do?
I made it to the semifinals.
Well done.
Well,
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
But it was probably, I don't know, 5 years ago.
It's not that long.
Yeah, but I made it to the semifinal. I'd like to do it again. I haven't really been surfing as much as I used to just because of work. lately, but I would like to get back into surfing a lot and actually getting some of the guys that I work with to compete as well, because now they're having the surfing Olympics in a lot of Queens.
Oh, yeah, they moved it. Oh, wow.
So when I competed, it was down in Southern California,
Mhm.
and I can't think of a better reason than a lot.
No.
No, that's amazing. And call it business.
Yeah.
We gotta write that off.
Right. And you know what's funny too is like when having done a competition, when you put the Santa Cruz name next to your name, people expect something.
Yeah.
So,
It fixes nose riding.
yeah,
Right.
they actually like they say you're from Santa Cruz. Everyone's kind of expecting you to perform. And,
Right.
They also respect it and welcome it too.
Mhm.
I found with traveling and being from Santa Cruz. And hopefully you'll see that as well as you get welcomed into communities. Because I feel like Santa Cruz does carry a lot of clout in that area.
What a good show.
Yeah.
Did we get some food at Pono?
Speaking of Pono, have
Yeah.
you heard about his family Subies that he makes?
No.
Oh, his?
Family secret?
I had some the other day. It was beyond good.
It like
Yeah.
broke my mouth.
Yeah, broke on you, right.
Yeah, I would say that his new Subi, you said you're going to Pono?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to throw it on the column or
No.
anything.
Hey, you guys are welcome to come with us.
No,
Let's
no,
not-
I might.
Yeah, you guys can come with us.
I think the captain makes a better Subi
And anybody.
than Pono and Aloha. So
Wow.
maybe there should be like a friendly competition.
I think so. Well, we want to.
Yeah, I got one more quick question.
Sure.
Brian. If you were to go to Hawaii tomorrow, which island would you go to?
That's a tough question, but I'll tell you right now, I go back to Kona, and that's where most of my family is at, and I look forward to. But all of Hawaii is home to me, but I would go back to Kona, and that's where someday
Mm-hmm.
hope to go back and be with my family again.
Retirement
Back home,
dreams back
yeah.
in Hawaii.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
With
eventually.
family, of course. All right.
Absolutely, but I do want to say thank you very much, and I know there's a lot of transplants from Hawaii out here, so I want to say aloha to everyone that's from Hawaii, and say hello, and and to everyone in Santa Cruz, the greater Santa Cruz area. It has been welcoming. I've received so many notes and messages just welcome me here, and it's nice. And in Hawaii, that's the aloha spirit, right?
Mhm.
That is. And when you come to Santa Cruz, there is that feeling. And when you're out in the water, when we go out surfing, everyone is low key, and you can feel that, and it's an easygoing feeling, and that's
It's changed
nice.
over the years. It's gotten better.
Yeah, and that's nice, and that's what I look forward to. I look forward to continuing that. And having, with me, it's always going to be the aloha spirit.
Yeah.
And we're always going to do that.
Yeah.
In Hawaiian style, for sure.
Yeah.
But I like that about Santa Cruz.
Good.
Is this is a question? Is CHP on social media?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Not my field.
is there a Santa Cruz? So I'm sure there's a lot of information for the public on social media. What is it?
We have Instagram, so it's CHP Santa Cruz, and then we have Facebook, same thing, CHP Santa Cruz, and we also have Twitter.
Okay.
Wow.
So, and it's
Yeah.
the same name across the board.
Okay.
It goes to all of them. Same
Yes,
information.
and I run them. You can DM us with questions or whatever it is, and we respond to them.
Well, that's what a great question, because a lot of times people feel secure asking questions that way.
Right.
So on
Yeah.
social media, it could be the RV that's driving them crazy or something, but along those lines, that's a nice way to maybe communicate.
Yes, and if you do that, a lot of people ask us questions, so if we don't get to it that day or that same week, it
Yeah.
depends, and we're super busy that day, so
Mhm.
we'll get to it eventually.
Well, three of you guys, I want to thank you for your service, first of all.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank
I mean,
Thank
you know,
you.
It's,
Yeah.
it's nice. Thank you for taking the time to come down here and do this with us. So we really appreciate it. See you in the water.
Oh yeah.
Let's go have some food at Pono. Give me Pono.
Well, again, yeah, thanks for coming down. I hope you have a great tenure here in Santa Cruz. It's a beautiful place, and I feel like people here will welcome you. I welcome you,
Thank you.
and I hope that everything is smooth sailing, safe,
Yeah.
and sane this weekend as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
All right.
all three of us.
Let's
I
go.
want to say thanks to John Rivera. I want to say thanks to the Captain John Rivera from the Cobalt Banker, the Captain Chardonnay.
Yes.
Chill Out Cafe was fun the other night.
They roll the fatties.
They roll the fatties at
Yep.
Chill Out Cafe. I want to thank Timmy from Pono, Numa from Aloha Island Grill.
Mhm.
I want to thank the Kayak Connection, Dave Grigsby from the Kayak Connection.
They're
I want
open.
to thank the Wave Clock. I want to thank the Wave Clock. I want to thank this one right there. I can see it.
Oh, yeah, there's one on the wall. I see it too.
And who else I got to thank? Missing
How about Sean Rovi?
Sean, I did a video with Sean Roby. Now, my friends, do you know Sean Roby, Service Manresa? So, the captain of the guy who flies the helicopter, Chris Galati, came on the show. And the one thing that we took from that was that if you serve Manresa, you will get spotted. You will get seen or checked out by a great white shark.
The great white shark will know you're there.
They check him out. Sean, who only serves Manresa, that he freaked out for like a month, and all of a sudden he sees this bracelet online has a magnet in it that's supposed to
Keep sharks away.
keeps bull sharks away.
Which we don't have.
We don't have bull sharks
Yeah.
away.
So
That's
that's an
he's
easy one.
wearing one of
It's
his
gonna work.
Looks like it's an ankle bracelet. Looks like it's a child molester, a convicted child molester. And he's wearing one. So would you wear one, Chris, at Manresa? Would you surf at Manresa again? Yeah.
Yes, I am going to circle.
Okay. Me too.
All right.
Who am I missing? Who else I missed?
The deli on Seabright.
Seabright Deli, missing
Yep,
that.
yep.
H&H Fish.
Oh, Hans.
I want to thank People's Coffee.
Yeah,
People's
Curtis.
Coffee.
Thank you, Curtis.
That's
Yep.
about it.
Okay. Hey, thanks everybody on Santa Cruz Waves. Have a happy, safe 4th of July. Don't get in any of these cars with handcuffs on, so be good.
And you get the Ultimate Radio Show on ultimateradio.com. It's on Spotify, Google Play, Pandora,
Tune in.
Amazon Alexa, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. It's everywhere. So if you miss these guys, they'll be all over the place by tonight, 11 o'clock. Thanks everyone for watching.
Good night, everybody.